Welcome. Thank you so much. We're going to do about 35 minutes of practice, and that includes Shavasana. Oh, yes. So, getting yourself lying down on your mat. Once you get there, take some big deep breaths. So, if you've not done Shavasana before, it's basically lying down, arms down by the side, turn the palms of the hands up, just have a little bit of space between your feet, closing your eyes and just allowing the weight of the body to be held by your mat. And just start to take a slightly deeper breath every time. So we're slowing your breathing down as well, making it more conscious. And even just coming down to this slow pace breathing is so good for our body. Added with stillness, added with actually lying down. So let's just relax the shoulders into the mat. And then the pelvis, the hips, the heels, the back of the head, and the back of the arms as well. So you just notice those big contact points. Maybe you can feel some more, maybe the backs of the legs, calves. And I want you to feel held and supported by your mat. Allow it to drain any negative energy away from the body. We're using our practice as like a recharge. You might want to just allow it to visualize coming out of the body through the back, those points, down into the mat, down into the earth. Beautiful, well done. And just 3 big breaths. We're going to do 3 big sighs. So sighs are breathing in through the nose if you can, and then exhaling through the mouth. We're doing 3. Take a big deep breath in when you're ready. And release. Again, breathing in. And release. Breathing in last time. And release. And then just allow your rhythm of your breathing just to come back, be focused on that. But also notice if you can sense any changes in the body, even just by doing them 3 breaths. Sometimes if you can feel your body just responding and dropping into a more relaxed state. So if you want to open your eyes and just see how your body feels. If it feels like it needs a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a stretch, do that. So we're just going to get into waterfall when you're ready, and you're just taking your legs up. So I've got really soft ankles, soft knees. Give your feet a little bit of a wiggle as well. And it can feel a little bit challenging to keep your legs in the air. We're activating the core just a little bit. And then we're just going to start to feel pushing into that space of the lower back. So imprinting the lower spine, that's going to engage the muscles of the core a little bit more. And then just release. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. See if you can do it from the hips. And then we're just going to point and flex the feet. You can do it alternately. You can do it at the same time. And also bring your chin in just a little bit, and you might feel that extension through the back of the neck as well. Draw some circles again, doing whichever direction suits you. Change direction. Fabulous, well done. Now we're going to drop the left leg down. Allow it to come all the way down. And if your hamstrings are tight and you want to bend the knee, you can do. We're just going to bring the hands behind the thigh and just gently pull in. So just looking for a deeper stretch. Aim for about 60-70% of a full stretch. And maybe you take the hands up and just go a little bit deeper into that stretch. Good. Now take it into a thread of the needle. So we need to bend that left leg, and we're taking the right leg over and we're going to push into that knee. So starting to just explore the space around the right hip. Just give yourself a little bit of movement from side to side. And then if you want to just take it deeper, you can lift up that left foot. Bring your hands around the back of the left thigh. Keep the head down if that's comfortable. Or you can lift the head up. More of an active stretch. Give yourself a little bit of movement as well. And let's swap the legs over. So we need to straighten this right leg nice and slowly. We're going to take the left leg up and bring the hands around the back. Gently stretch. Keeping that knee soft. And then maybe stretching a little bit more. So always giving our body a couple of seconds to kind of get used to what we are asking it to do when we're stretching, particularly these deep stretches around the hip as well. You might feel some tingling in your foot. That's because we've raised your foot up. Good. Let's get into thread the needle on this side. Just allowing the outside of the foot to rest on the knee, and then gently pushing into that left knee. Have a little bit of moving from side to side. And then going in for the deeper one, only if you want to. Make it a little bit more dynamic though, so giving it a little bit of moving around. Good, well done. And let's just get into a bridge position. So releasing the hands, the head, shoulders down, keeping the knees both bent. Just bring the heels in a little bit closer. And we're just going to move with the breath. We're going to inhale and just lift the hips up. And exhale, slowly bringing each vertebra down. We're just doing that a few times, nice and slow and controlled. Slowly lifting up. Good. And then just coming back down, just resting for a moment. And then again, we're going to play around with the space underneath that lower back. So we're going to repeat this maybe 3-4 times. And when we lift up, I want you to see if you can really push into that space. And then lifting up, you can decide whether you want to hold for a couple of breaths, or you can come straight back down again. See if you can push into that space again. So your choice. Just one more wherever you are. Good, well done. And let's stretch out. Stretch the arms above, going for a really big stretch. And we're going to get onto our tummy. So just take your time. Let's get into Sphinx first of all. So elbows coming underneath the shoulders, palms of the hands are just in front, flats of the palm. Just see how this feels. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle through the hips, through the body. And we're going to see if we can push the elbows a little bit deeper into the mat to lift us up. And you'll notice that it's the compression in that lower back where the sensations will be the most in this. So knowing that we've got to be really gentle and safe with our lower back. So if you need to drop down, what you do is just push your fingertips away. So you're just taking that pressure off the back. I'm going to have a move with the breath. So this is kind of going to be right at the top of the inhale. So this is the kind of most it's going to feel like. So let's just have an inhale here. And then slowly exhale, and we're just dropping the chest down. We're not bringing the head all the way down, but a little bit of a rounding through the shoulders as you come back up on that inhale. Dropping the head down on the exhale, allow the legs to be nice and loose as well. So really pushing in using the elbows. Let's do 2 more. You can really feel that in the lower back. And bringing ourselves all the way down. So we're going to straighten the arms and just bring the forehead down. It's going to feel a little bit weird. So tuck the chin under so more of the top of the forehead is coming down. Take the feet a little bit wider. And we're just going to move through a dynamic locust. So locust is very similar to kind of what we were just doing, but we're going to be using the muscles. So just lift up the head on the next inhale and drop down on the exhale. Good. Aiming for 3 to 5, it just depends. See if you can move with your breath. I'm going for a slow breath. Good. Now we're going to keep doing that, but this time we're going to lift the hands up. So still lifting up the chest and the head, keeping the legs relaxed. So palms of the hands stay flat, lifted up towards the ceiling. You'll feel that pulling of the shoulder blades. Good. And then this time, if you want to, picking up the feet as well, coming into the fuller version of locust, but we're not staying there, we're moving in and out. So these dynamic movements are really good for the skeleton anyway, but they're also using the muscles around to create this, obviously, the movement. Well done. Let's do 1 more. And then we deserve a very good rest. So let's come on to the left side of the head, and we're going to swoop the left arm round and getting into half frog. So we're going to bend that right knee and just relax here. If you want to push that right knee out a little bit more, close your eyes. We could have 6 big breaths here. And remembering that sighing is available to you at any time. There's something really nice about just chucking a sigh in here and there and noticing the subtle differences. Good. Shall we swap over? So we need to straighten that right leg. If you feel like you need to shimmy over a little bit so that you keep the inside of the knee onto the mat. Finding that position that feels quite comfortable. Maybe pushing that knee out just a little bit more. Remembering just to come back to the breath. Good. So let's get ourselves into tabletop. And this definitely feels like the foot of my mat. So I'm going to turn around. Take your time. We've just done some quite intense work on our lower back. So getting into a very gentle and slow cat pose is going to feel really nice just to release and just breathe into it. Good. Now we're going to sit back onto our bum. No, we're going to sit back onto our heels with our bum. Take the hands back. So if you need any propping underneath the knees, feel free to do that. I'm just going to take the hands behind us. We're going to lift up the chest. Just push the hips forward. See if you can really open and lift the throat as well. So the shoulder blades should feel like you're pulling them together. Good. One more breath in. And then we're just going to come up just briefly. I'm just going to travel down the mat just a little bit. We're going to go in for an ankle stretch. So the right hand and the left hand come behind us again. But this time I'm going to take the weight back. We're not dropping into a chest opener. We're lifting up our knees. And I've noticed that quite a lot of men can't do this. So if you're a man and you're having a go at trying to do this and you've got no space between your knees and the mat, don't worry about it. It's all good. Fabulous. Well done. The more you take your knees off, the deeper you're going to stretch. Yay. Well done. Slowly coming back. Let's come back to tabletop. Let's stretch those legs out one at a time. Take your time. So when you stretch your leg out, just push the heel away. Give your leg a little bit of a shake again. And let's swap over. Now we're going to move into dynamic bird dog. So bird dog is when we extend one leg. Let's go for the left leg. And we take the right arm out. We can decide that if we want to stay here, but we're going to take it into kind of a rounding through the spine and pulling the right elbow and the knee together. That's going to be on exhale. Inhale is the big stretch. Exhale is getting into that rounded position. Take your time. You might want to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through the mouth. Let's do one more. Fabulous. Well done. Swapping over. So the left arm, right leg. See how it feels? Just to balance for a breath or two. Take a big deep breath in and then exhale. Good. 5 this side. Up to 5. See if you can really round the spine. Pull that knee really tight in. Really stretch out. So last one, and then come to back to tabletop, taking any position that feels good. And we're going to get ourselves into a downward facing dog. So it's our first one, nice and slowly tucking the toes under, lifting the knees, pushing the hips back. Let's pedal out the legs. And see how it feels to really stretch into the balls of the feet. That can feel really nice. And then you get that stretch through the calves, into the hamstrings. Maybe you can get your quads engaged. Good. And then just come to stillness. So as always, think about this as being straight back rather than what your legs are doing. See if you can just relax the head, give it a little bit of a shake. Yes and no. Good. Let's get back onto our knees and we're going to take the right leg forward. Take the left knee back just a little bit. So let's keep the hands just at the side of the foot. I'm using my tented fingers shape and see if we can just lift and lengthen towards the front of the mat. So you're going to feel that it's almost like a gradual stretch, intensity, sensation through the hips. We're going to have quite a dynamic movement now. So next inhale, we're going to swoop the arms all the way up and then swoop them down and back, palms facing up on the exhale. So we've got this inhale, taking them up, take your gaze up, arms come down. 2 more. Last one. Breathe in deep into your body. Fabulous. Well done. And then let's bring the left hand down. Just take the right arm up, stretching out. Now we're going to draw some circles with this right arm. We're going to do an exhale going backwards, and then we're going to do an inhale to come forward. Really nice for playing with the mobility in the right shoulder. Don't worry if it's a completely perfect circle. Do one more. And then we're just going to change direction. So when you come back to the bottom, we're just going to take it round again from the back. So it's an inhale and then an exhale. Good. One more. Yes, well done. Both hands down again. Just take the weight back. So we're going for a nice deep stretch in the hamstrings. So maybe you need to push the heel a little bit forward. You can decide whether to flex the foot. That's more intense. Have a play around. So we're aiming to take the weight of the upper body forward. So that's going to intensify the stretch. Good. Now we're going to swap the legs. So getting into that low lunge with the left leg forward. So take your time. Do what you need to do. So we've got the left hand, right hand, taking a deep breath and just allowing yourself just to lift the heart up so your back is as straight as possible. And I'm just doing those movements. So the next inhale, swooping the arms all the way up. See if you can track your hands with your gaze. Get to a certain point where you're bringing your arms away from the body. So you're going to have the gaze towards the toes. Good. Do one more. Yes, good. Let's bring the hands down. And we're taking this left arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe you notice that this side is different than the other. Let's go backwards. Deep breath in. Exhale. And down. Inhale. Coming up. So we do 3, up to 3. Do one nice slow when it feels good. And you are winning at life. You're winning at life anyway because you're doing yoga with me. Let's swap. Really stretch it out. Fantastic. Last one. Whoa, well done. And just coming back to that hamstring stretch on this side. Good. Let's get ourselves into a forward fold. So feet come onto the mat. Let's have the knees really soft and just keep that head down and just moving the head. Yes, no. And then maybe starting to, you can pedal out the legs. That feels good. Wonderful. Let's come into a halfway lift, but we're going to have aeroplane arms. The palms of the hands face up. Spread your fingers. You can take your hands a little bit further away from the body and see if you can pull the shoulder blades together just a little bit. Crown of the head is going forward to try and keep the chin neutral, the neck neutral, the shoulders pulled down a little bit. Wonderful. One breath in and then exhale. Fall forward. Soften the knees and let's push through, keeping the arms long, taking as long as it takes to stand up. So a quarter turn. to left side of the mat. Let's take the legs wide. We're going to go into star. So we take, it's like an X shape. It's up to you where you want your feet to be. Palms of the hands face forward. We tuck our tailbone under and we stretch. Stretch the fingertips out, maybe stretch onto the outside edges of the feet. Good, well done. Now we're going to pull the heels in slightly because we're going to move from star into goddess. So we need to do something with our legs and we need to do something with our arms. So legs, let's go for the simple one first. All you're going to be doing is bending the knees up and down. That's what we're going to be doing. So what we need to do with the arms is, as we're bending the knees, we bend the elbows and bring the palms of the hands forward. And then we're going to push back up again. Simple. So let's move with the breath. So it's an exhale to come down and inhale to stretch out. Exhale to come down. Your choice how far you want to go, and see if you can really pull your knees open. That's going to be where the work is, and try and have a really straight back. Do 2 more of these. Good, well done. Coming back up, yes. Drop the hands down. Let's just shimmy the feet in. Back into mountain, give your shoulders a little bit of love. Give a little bit of a wiggle. And just come to mountain. Just check in, see how you feel. Let's close the eyes. Just connect again with our breath. Allow our breath to be back under our control. Good, we're going to do 2 balances. We're going to do tree and then we're going to do aeroplane. So tree position, let's get our feet underneath our hips. Remembering that we've got different versions depending on how stable you're feeling. You could grab hold of your wall if you feel a little bit wobbly. If you've got a chair to hand, you can bring that in and do that. So left leg, standing leg, and we've just got, this is version 1. Remembering that we're still pulling the hip open. So this one has got the ball of the right foot on. We're just resting the heel on top of the left ankle. Think about what you're doing with your hands. This one is if you're feeling super unsteady. This one can make you look like a proper yogi. This makes you look like an advanced yogi. We can have this one where the foot is just resting underneath the knee, or we can have this one. Depends what kind of trousers you've got on, etc. So let's do this left side, 6 breaths. If you've already done it, I want you to see if you can hold it for a little bit longer. Let's see where we get. I'm always complaining about my trousers when I come into mountain. Wherever you are, see if you can open that hip. Yeah, trousers, not doing it. Yeah, see if you can open that hip just a little bit more, thinking about where you've got your hands. There's always adjustments to be done in tree because we want to be nice and straight. I'm sure you've done 6 breaths by now, so let's swap over. So let's reset, let's ground ourselves back down, giving ourselves a little bit of a shake if we need it. This side, it could be different. Don't think that you have to do exactly the same on this side. This is my weaker side for balancing. Sometimes it can help to really push the foot into the leg. Get yourself nice and stable, upright, long, connected to the earth, and then decide what you're doing with your hands. 6 big breaths, remembering to pull that hip open, pull the knee away. There's many things that I like about yoga, obviously. One of them is that it can be really playful. It's very good for your ego as well. There's never a stopping point with a pose. It's never like, oh yeah, I've won, I've done it. There's always something else that you can be focusing on. Whenever you've got a balance, you could be doing things with your eyes closed. You could be then changing into another balance. Have we done 6 breaths? I think so. Well done. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. So because we're such experts at balancing, let's do another one. So we're going to do a quarter turn to the front mat. So aeroplane, let's have the right leg as a standing leg. We can have version 1 with the toes just tucked behind you but still on the mat. But we need to drop the chest down a little bit. And we've got the palms of the hands facing away. So most of the weight is in this right leg. And keep that knee soft. The more you tip forward with your chest, hopefully you're lifting up that leg. Try and keep the hips square, and we flex that back foot so that we're in this big straight line. 6 breaths. 6 breaths. If you fall out of it, come back in it. You've still got time. You've got time. Got all the time in the world. Slowly come back. Once you've done, get yourself prepared. Balances are mental, I think. You can find a spot to gaze at. They can help. Also practice. Practice. And if you go into it thinking, oh, my balance is rubbish, or I can't do balancing, or this side isn't as good, like what I did before, it's going to work like that, isn't it? Get into your version. Take it slowly. And we aim in for that right leg to be really straight. Palms of the hands facing up. You see how wonderfully I'm doing it. I'm holding on to the wall. I'm just a little bit wobbly. Wobbly today. There we go. Really stretch out wherever you are. And we'll meet back when you're ready. Only when you're ready. Back in mountain. So if you're there already, closing the eyes and just reconnecting with the breath. If you're still balancing, then good on you. But the rest of us are waiting for you, so come on. And see if you can feel that activation of the fire, the prana as well, flowing around. I can feel it in the throat. It feels really nice. My heart is beating. Take some big deep breaths. And just get into a squat. So we're going to take the feet a little bit wider. Squat down. So you've got some choices. Just out the arms just in front. If you are up on your toes, if that feels okay, then do that. If it doesn't, find something to support you. Think about your back being straight. You can push your elbows into your knees, bring your hand together, hands down. Really nice one just for opening through the hips. Let's get that back straight. Doesn't time just go so quickly? It's very early time to get into Shavasana. So let's get on to our back again. So we started with waterfall. We're going to repeat waterfall. Let's take the legs up. Let's take the arms up as well this time. Now see if you can get the whole of the backs of the shoulders imprinting into the mat. Same thing with the lower back. And just allow your hands just to kind of drop down. Just a little bit of playfulness. Maybe you can grab your legs. Maybe you can pick your head, your shoulders up. Find a bit of a different kind of position that you would normally get your body into. You could even have your hands around your feet with your legs straight. So it's going to pick up your tailbone. A bit of a balance here as well. Let's have one more breath. And then really slowly, let's release. And let's go in for that big stretch again. Arms come above the head. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. And then into Shavasana, we've got 3 minutes. So if you need to get a blanket, you need to get a cushion, you've got loads of time. And don't forget that if you want to go for a longer Shavasana, you can sort of press the video now, put a timer on, and that's it. You've done. You're out, you're away. Thank you so much for joining in. If you're staying with me, let's take a big, deep breath and release. We just try and be as still and silent as possible. So we're coming towards the end of our 3 minutes Shavasana. Let's have 3 big sighs before we move anything, majorly move anything. So deep breath in, releasing through the mouth. Again. Last time. And then we're just going to get on to our right side. Stay there for 3 breaths. And then slowly just come up to a seated position. It doesn't have to be crossed leg, but just closing your eyes. And just bring your right hand to your chest and your left hand to your tummy. I'm just going to say a sentence silently to ourselves 3 times. So the sentence is, I love myself. That's it. Without judgment, actually. I was going to put that on and I'm like, yeah, I love myself without judgment. So in your own time. Beautiful work. Well done, yogis. You are amazing. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.